Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be talking about the Echo Mountain Literature Guide from Barefoot Within the Trees. We are so excited to be starting this unit. So this is going to be our last unit for our homeschool year. We love doing unit studies and I'm really excited for this one to be our final one for this homeschool year because it looks so good. If you're new to my channel, my name is Ashley. I have a second grader, a fourth grader, and a preschooler. I am also a full-time working mom. I do work from home, but we balance that with homeschooling the kids and just taking care of a household. I am also a brand rep for Barefoot Within the Trees. I've shared a bunch of their units. So if you're interested in more, I always have a discount code down below. Use my code GATHERED20 and you get 20% off of anything from Barefoot Within the Trees unless it's already on a sale. So this is a literature guide for this book, Echo Mountain by Lauren Wolfe. I've heard really great things about this author, so I'm really excited to be reading this book. I'm just going to read the back of it to you so you guys kind of get an idea of what this book is about. After losing almost everything in the Great Depression, Ellie's family is forced to leave their home in town and start over in the untamed wilderness of nearby Echo Mountain. Ellie has found a welcome freedom and a love of the natural world in her new life on the mountain. But there is a little joy after a terrible accident leaves her father in a coma, an accident unfairly blamed on Ellie. Ellie is a girl who takes matters into her own hands, and determined to help her father, she will make her way to the top of the mountain in search of the healing secrets of a woman only as the hag. But the hag and the mountain still have many untold stories left to reveal. This is a historical fiction. This celebrates finding your own path and becoming your truest self. So there's a tale of resilience, persistence, and friendship across 3 generations of families. So seems like a really great book. It is set right after the Great Depression, and it's in nature and woods. And so Jenny, the creator of this literature guide and the owner of Barefoot Within the Trees, she highly recommends that this unit is done in spring, which is why I am really trying to squeeze it in. This is our last unit of the year. The literature guide is a digital purchase, so I'll link it down below. I believe it's $8, and then you can use my 20% off discount, so amazing deal. You get the digital download, you can print yourself, or I highly recommend Watson Family Press for any printing, and they actually partner with Barefoot Within the Trees. So there you go. It's a great company to use. I will link them down below as well. There are like the teacher kind of notes that, you know, kind of just walk you through everything. There's activities, and then there's student pages. So really you only would need to print the student pages. You could keep everything else digitally if you wanted to. If you've never done a unit from Barefoot Within the Trees, it breaks down in the beginning kind of like the user guide and the preparation. It does say that this guide is for ages 10 and plus, and that is because in this book there are some kind of gory things that happen. They're out in the woods, and you know, cuts and scrapes and things can happen, and so there is that type of stuff. My younger daughter who's doing it is 8, but she'll be completely fine with that. There are 12 lessons, which will take about 4 weeks. There is, and I'll show you in a minute, a schedule that is put together, which I love. So yeah, I think it's 3 lessons a week for 4 weeks, and you'll complete it reading this entire book. There's activities, vocabulary words, and herbology. And so because this is out in the wilderness, there's a lot of talk about natural medicine and remedies, which is another reason we are really excited for this. That's something that we really enjoy learning about. Here is that lesson overview. So it gives you week 1 and then 3 lessons per week. So okay, lesson 1, you're going to read these chapters. Here's some videos. Here's the activities they recommend doing. Here's a game they recommend playing. So it really breaks it down for you. And this is what I love, because I really love that stuff, not having to plan it out. I can say, okay, this is what I know we're doing. When I plan out 1 week at a time, this is what I need to be prepared for. It's all written down for me. So the only required resource for this is this book. However, there are some recommended add-ons because this is set around the Great Depression. There's two books around the Great Depression, Dorothea Lange and What Was the Great Depression. Because we are adding this in at the end of our homeschool year and kind of, I don't want to say like rushing it, more like squeezing it in because we have to end our school year by a certain date. We're not using these two resources this time around, but that doesn't mean we won't go back and read those at a later time. It does recommend the game Monopoly, which we have, and I'm pretty sure most households have that game. And then this is the most highly recommended. So out of anything, you would want the Echo Mountain and this Wildcraft game. I've had my eye on this game for a while. It is pretty pricey. I think it's normally around $60. However, Amazon has had it on sale for, I think, $29 or $39. Probably $39. And so I had to snag it up because we've just been wanting this game regardless. And so when I saw it was recommended as a resource and it was on sale, I'm like, oh, I have to get it. So I will link the Amazon down below. I think you can also buy it directly from Wildcraft, but that's where it's like $59. So this is an herbal adventure game. If you can look at it, it's, you know, cute and colorful. There's little cards. So we haven't played it yet, but as you play it, from what I've read, something will happen. So basically you're going through like an adventure and things are gonna happen, certain, like you'll slip and fall or somebody needs something. So like an example, grandma needs huckleberries to bake a pie. You and your cousins embark on an adventure up the mountain to collect berries as well as herbs she uses. Will you harvest the right plants to help with your trouble you run into along the way? Will you make it back before nightfall? The only way to win is by helping each other out. This is a great introduction for children of all ages to 27 amazing herbs and their uses in first aid. So even though this is a game, like these are life skills that your kids are going to learn from. So I'm really excited. It does say you don't need any prior knowledge. Like they're supposed to be learning as they play this game. And then this game ties in perfectly with the book and the unit study. There's also a supply list. So if you're planning on doing like the activities week by week, it's broken down what supplies you need, so you can just add this on to your weekly shopping list. There is a reading passage on both the Great Depression and Dorothea Lange, or Dorothea Lange. That's probably what we will read. We'll probably just read those and not do those extra books. And then there's also things called a letter from Ellie. So throughout those different lessons, it will say, oh, read the letter about balsam fir from Ellie. And so this is just a cute little character letter, just going a little bit more into like the benefits and what it can do. So these are super cute as well. There are some helpful definitions, especially when we're talking about things like medical terms. There are a couple recipes specifically like from the Great Depression era. So this is Poor Man's Meal, Johnny Cakes. What is funny is I was kind of flipping through this with my kid, and Johnny Cakes are referenced a lot, just I think in a lot of different homeschool curriculums. And so my kids automatically were like, oh, we've heard of those. And so I think that's like a really fun, like full circle tie-in as well. So there's the recipes and then there's different activities. And again, in that very first section of where it breaks down like what lessons, what to read, that's where it will direct you what activities to complete. There's a tallow candle, fermented garlic honey. This is like, so you would make this and store it and then use it for like sickness or ailments on the skin. So I'm really excited for that. I'm not showing you guys all the activities or recipes because there's a bunch, but this is another one we're really excited about. This is a medicinal herb eggshell garden. So you use eggshells and you start with your seeds and grow your little seedlings. So again, this is something I know why it's recommended to do in spring. So we're actually going to do this activity first because we want them to start growing as soon as possible before it gets too hot where we live. Oh my gosh, I saw Jenny post an example of this before she released it and I was like, oh, so gross. But you actually grow maggots and flies. There's a whole activity of using like raw meats So this made me want to vomit, but it definitely got my kids' attention. So there's that activity in there. And then you learn the life cycle of a fly. Each lesson does have a student page. And so here's one example of that. So each of them always has like a beginning, middle, and end. So as you're reading it, this is kind of a review for your kids to kind of jot down like the notes that they read. Sometimes there's like a vocabulary word. Sometimes there's discussion questions. This one is matching the herbal medicine to what it can help. So just a fun like little student activity. So each lesson has a student activity page as well. And also included, I'll pop up some pictures up here as I'm talking. I didn't print them out, but there are extra student pages. There are copy work. So each lesson there's like a passage where your kids can either print and trace or just print and copy from dictation if you want to go that route. And there's also a cursive adaptation of that, which we probably will end up using the cursive one for my older daughter because we've finished up her handwriting curriculum for the year. So just so she's kind of continuing that practice, I'll probably print out a couple of those pages. And yeah, we're super excited. So like I said, this is the last unit study, the last book we're reading for this school year. Our school year ends on May 18th, May 19th, whatever that week is. So we're super excited to be ending our school year with this unit, reading this book and using this literature guide. It's going to be, I think, a perfect like end of school year into summer unit. So yeah, if you have any questions about this unit or anything from Barefoot Within the Trees, leave them down below. And don't forget, if you're interested in this, I have my 20% off discount and link down below that you can use. And if you have any questions, leave those down below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day and we'll chat soon. Bye.